Good evening, my friends. This is Angie Stewart from Mia InnerLight, and today in Kardec Radio, but not in Kardec Radio. We had technical difficulties, but later on, this recording will be passed to Kardec Radio Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully it will be able to work through that app too. So 1 second, I forgot to connect this thing here. We had lots of technical difficulties today, and we have to persevere. So I just told our friends that we will be live on the Mia InnerLight Facebook. I hope they can migrate there. Claudia and Marcio, you guys are hearing me. If you could go to Mia InnerLight and let them know we are actually on Facebook of Mia InnerLight, will be awesome. So someone can see us live. Okay, so now that we are starting, if you're new, I just want to show you. Oops. What? I have my book here. I have to laugh. I have to laugh because I forgot the book. Oh, this is the best thing of life. Everything goes wrong and you cannot erase or cut. So, this is the book we study. What is Spiritism for 30 minutes? And then we go here. We go to this book, Gospel According to Spiritism, for another 30 minutes. And the second portion of our study, we have our guests that they bring so much light and knowledge, and we can talk about it. It's always a blessing. So just for us to start the study after all kinds of issues, I would like to ask you to follow me in a very short prayer, just for us to be able to better connect with the enlightened spirits. Please put your water there, so it will be your medication, not just for tonight, but throughout the week. God, our Mother and Father, thank you so much for being with us today, as always. At this moment, we would like to ask for your protection, your guidance, and your inspiration, helping us to calm down after so many issues, helping us to connect with the higher spirituality so we can actually deliver the message that we studied and we had already connect before. Please send these good vibrations to all our friends, especially to our guests of tonight, our friend Claudia and Marcio, so they can also be well connected and we can all have a great time passing a little bit of our knowledge to all of you. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good. So after the storm comes the sunshine, comes the beauty. So, so that's exactly what we want to do. So it's already 9:04, and we were studying last week this beautiful book, What is Spiritism? I have to tell you that from all the spiritists that I know, maybe 10% of them have ever read this book. This book is not part of the Pentateuch, the 5 main books that Kardec wrote, but this book was the first book written right after the Spirit's book. So this is a book that Kardec collects. It's almost like his diary, a portion of it. And the beginning of the book is actually a biography that Henri Sauce wrote about Kardec. So he gives a lot of a description, how was his life, little by little, telling step by step, since his parents when he was born, when he met his wife, Amélie Boudet. And when they started discovering, he started especially discovering the turning table movement when it was already in Paris. Because in the beginning, we read that the spiritualistic movement with the mediumship of the Fox sisters actually started in the United States. It started in New York, in upstate New York, in a little tiny city called Hydesville. So there is where all this mediumship phenomena started and traveled to Europe, and that's when Kardec discovered. So in Europe in that time, it's just a little brief summary. I don't really want to go too deep in anything today because we had so many connectivity issues, and I know a lot of people are not going to be able to see it. So it's actually good that we can do like a summary of what we have been doing, what we have been studying, and then we can catch up deeper next week. So in Europe, in France, in that time, in the 1800s, with Kardec, the turning table was an enjoyment, was a fun thing to do. Like nowadays, you invite, imagine you invite your friends to play charade. Like I absolutely love to play games. You know, in that time, you used to invite your friends to play turning table movements, to play the talking tables, as they were actually called. So people used to go sit around the tables and they start like asking questions. And then, the table start making movements, or they put little things on top of the tables that this could start moving. That's where we also got the glass, the cup or the glass game that nowadays people talk about, or the ogiva game. I think that's the name. I'm not sure. I see Matthew. Matthew, please help me, because it's ogiva. That's the name of the game that is played in America. Let me know. It's a game that you have letters and numbers, and that's how they used to move the cup around to create a word or to create a sentence. As you can imagine, it takes forever to write something like that. But even before this, when they didn't have the idea of putting the alphabet on a table, they were doing it by noises. So one tap is A, two is B. Imagine to write something with Z, with X, W, really difficult. So things evolved. Kardec finally was able to accept to go in one of these meetings. The ones that were with us before, you saw that it was not easy. He did not want to waste his time participating of this kind of things that he thought they were like a waste of time. And he was a very busy man. He was not a believer in anything. He was very central, very like how can I explain? He just analyzed with his mind instead of blindly accepting things. So when his friend said, "Oh, there is a table that's actually talking," he said, "Whenever you prove that a table has brains, then I will believe that a table is actually talking." So, long story short, he finally joins a meeting and lots of things start happening. He started asking these extremely serious questions with a group of very serious men. And then he started understanding that what was going on, they were spirits answering the questions. And he also analyzed that only when certain people were at these meetings, that's when it actually happened. So the certain people are the mediums. So if you don't have a medium participating on this table sessions, nothing happened. And it's like this nowadays. If you want to have a mediumistic meeting in a Spiritist center, if one person there is not a medium, if there is 0 mediums, then we will not have a communication. So that's what happens. So last week we were reading the book, and we had started a portion of the book where there were 4 mediums who had given very similar messages to Kardec about his mission. So Kardec had a mission, and was through certain months, and then was confirmed in the following year. And all the messages were very, very similar. So Mr. Seuss, he put here a bigger message that summarizes what was going on. So let me show. Now I can show my book, not like I was doing before. Oh my God, I have to laugh with myself. I think, can anyone write down if you can read the message? Maybe it's the book's a little small. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger. Just let me know if it's fine, or if it's too small. Let me go back here. So let me read. Hello, Roberta. How are you, my dear cousin? By the way, thank you so much, all of you, for the wonderful donations that I have been receiving to the Loving Bags project. It is a blessing. I received a lot of donations today, yesterday. My house is a mess. I have boxes everywhere, but it is a blessing. So if you don't know, I'm organizing a project called the Loving Bags for the Homeless here in Miami. Our goal is 400 bags. So we're going to be helping 400 people, and any donation is welcome. If you live near me, I live in Coconut Grove in Miami, you can even bring your donations here. I accept used men's clothes in good condition, nothing really, full of holes or bad. And then we are going to put together 13 items in each bag. And on December 13, 2 p.m., volunteers will come here. We are going to pack all the bags. And then at 4 o'clock, we are going to go to downtown to distribute the bags. So it is a blessing that even during COVID, it's such a hard time to all of us, we are still able to donate. So thank you so much. All of you, I don't want to be telling names because all of you are wonderful and are donating so much. So let me just say hello before I start, because I see few people discovered that we were actually here, not in Kardec Radio. Hello, Saul. Nice to see you. Hi, Matthew. Robert. Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Nora. Hello. Super happy to have you guys here. So let's go to the book. So this is the message that we actually started reading last week, and it's very powerful. It's actually painful for me, actually, because I'm just a normal person. I'm not a enlightened being like Kardec. It would be very difficult for me to be involved in something that I'm so excited, and then this difficult news comes. So the question here was, what are the causes that make me fail? Kardec is asking about this mission that this 5 mediums now, because the last medium was actually a man. Let me see if I can go back here and just to see his name. Let me see, what is his name? Just because I want to see his name, I'm not going to find. Of course, haha. Why so difficult? So these are all the other mediums: Miss Jaffe, Miss Aline C, oh, Mrs. Cardone, and Mr. Corset. So actually 4, not 5, 4. So Mr. Corset was the last medium, a man that mentioned this mission of Kardec. So he talks about it. He asks few questions, and he talks about the creation of the Spiritist Review, and lots of difficulties, financial difficulties, but he put it to work. And now he's talking directly about his mission. And then the answer from the spirits is no, but the missions of reformers are full of obstacles and dangers. Yours is difficult. Let me inform, for it involves the stirring up and transformation of the whole world. It's like, so the spirits are telling him, your mission will change the world. This is very powerful. Wow. First of all, if a spirit tells me something like that, I don't think I would believe. I would be like, yeah, changing the world. And then if I continue with the mission, I would be like, because transforming the world. And then comes, do not think it will be enough to publish 1 book, 2 books, 10 books, while remaining undisturbed in your home. No, you must get involved in the conflict. So, we are reading this and we're like, why they are saying this thing to him? It's you don't need to just publishing a book. It's not enough. So just for you to understand, publishing a book is actually a lot. It is difficult. I always wanted to publish many books. 1 book I wanted to publish about the story of my life, my grandmother's life. But I remember start writing this like 3, 4, 5 times and then just giving up because I was changing so many times. So just to think about writing 1 book is difficult. And then the spirits are telling him 1 book, 2, 10 books. It's not enough. You need to be involved in the conflict. So the spirits are telling him there will be conflict and that you have to be part of it. Not fighting, but you will have to be explaining yourself. And then and then they continue. Where I am? Okay. Remain undisturbed in your home. No, you must get involved in the conflict. Terrible hatred will be aroused against you. Impeccable enemies will plot your ruin. Oh my God. Can you believe it? Implacable enemies. So when you read something like that, you're already like, wow, what kind of mission is that I will give in myself to go into a battle, into a fight? But Kardec, this was not really a big problem for him. He's like, okay, I understand. Imagine me, but Kardec is Kardec, and I am who I am. And then they continue. You will be exposed to slander and betrayal, even from those who seem to be the most devoted to you. Your best teachings will be attacked and twisted. You will succumb more than once to the weight of fatigue. We always read that he was working so much, that was so difficult. In that time, Kardec was receiving messages from everywhere. He was receiving mediumistic messages from all over Europe. And he was trying to get these messages. And the best ones, he was very methodical. So he was getting the messages, he was analyzing, he was filtering what is good, what is not good, what goes to garbage, and what is good. Let's take many and let's see what are similar, what is similar to each other, and let's take the one that's better. That's how he compiled all the books of the codification. So this is a lot of work, a lot of research. It's not something easy. And he had his normal job. He always worked to support his family, his wife. And so it was extra work. And then the spirits even say that many times they warned him. They said, you have to stop working too much. You are going to end up dying before your time, and your time is already short. But in his mind, he was like, no, I have to continue because I have to finish it. That was amazing how strong he was. And then he continued. Your best teachings will be attacked and twisted. You will succumb more than one time to weight of fatigue. In other words, you will have to bear an almost constant struggle, sacrificing your rest, your peace, your health, and even your life, for you will not live very long. So the spirits, they were already telling him, hey, Kardec, calm down, because you are not going to live a long life. Your life will be already short. But if you work too much, it's going to be shorter. So then more than one missionary retreats when instead of flowery pathway, he finds his steps lined only with thorns, sharp stones, and serpents. Wow, very scary. For such missions, intelligence is not enough. Before anything else, to please God, one needs humility, modesty, and unselfishness, for he strikes the proud and presumptuous. In order to struggle against the human element, one must have courage, perseverance, and unshakable firmness. One must also be prudent and tactful in order to deal with things appropriately and not to compromise their success with ultimately measures and words. Finally, one must be devoted, self-denying, and ready for any kind of sacrifice. You can see that your mission will depend on the conditions that you yourself set. The spirit truth. Woof, woof. Just to read his mission, I already get like, my goodness, it's such a stressful mission. But that was the spirit, the truth. We call nowadays the spirit of the truth. So in Spiritism, some currents believe this was Jesus himself, and others believe this was the group of spirits, the group of Christic spirits that helped Christ to be able to coordinate this vision. I believe it's a group of spirits because he was having help all the time, constant help. And as you can imagine, his mission was painful. If you already know a little bit about Kardec, you know that it was really full of thorns and not really a pleasant one. So let's now read a little bit of the comment. So the comment by Kardec. I am writing on this January 1st, 1867. Oh, let me put a little bit bigger again for you guys to see. 10.5 years after that communication was given to me, and I can affirm that everything has happened, and it said at every point, for I have experienced all vicissitudes predicted by it. So Kardec is confirming that he already went through a lot of pain, a lot of betrayals, a lot of accusations. So Kardec used to take from his own money, his own salary, to pay for his trips, because he used to travel all over Europe, bringing the knowledge of Spiritism. And a Spiritist Center had already started. We will see, he already had a Spiritist Center. Actually, I'm going to read about this in a few minutes. And there was a big group of people participating. They were contributing to be able to pay for the rent, to pay for other expenses. But Kardec decided to take from his own money to pay for his trips because he didn't want to be a burden to the society. But it doesn't matter. People was accusing him of making money with Spiritism. They were accusing him of traveling all over the world in vacation and with all the expenses paid, but it was actually not the truth. It was really a lie. And then we continue here. The Parisian society has been a continual focus of intrigue, conspired by those who said they were on my side and who pretended to be amiable in my presence, stabbed me in the back. Wow, isn't that painful? So people that you think are your friends, people that that's why we always say, unfortunately, there are a lot of people nowadays. There were always people that in front of you are smiling. Oh, you're so nice. Yes, I love it. I will do. Yeah. And then when you turn, I can't believe it. I'm never going to do it. So there are people that are very false. We have to be very careful with our friendships. That's why we say that the real friendships are based just in love. They are not connected to anything like they are not connected with power. They are not connected even with the belief. So this is sad for us because we are spiritists. We are connected in this beautiful philosophy that we study, but we have to understand that Spiritism tells that we are all sick, not fully sick like but sick in the sense that we all have some type of sickness within our spirit. And many times we do not realize it. We don't even know. Many times a person has a problem of a gossip and the person don't even realize this person is a gossiper, or the person envies certain things of others and they don't realize, they don't notice it. That's why we have to be careful, because people are so fast to point fingers at others. But look, what? You're pointing finger. You have 3 fingers pointing at you. So, he does this, she does that. I like to say that there is a finger going up, so it's going to go up and boom, fall back in our own head. So be careful when you talk something bad about others, because means that deep inside you have something related to that. We have to be careful. So Teresa said, we all have a clay feet. Means wishy-washy. I love that expression. Yes, Teresa. Yes, we actually spoke about it. So we spoke about this last week, remember? So Saul said that wasn't an easy mission, but thank God he did. The good spirits helped him all the time. Oh, let me read from here. Helped him all the time, and he had a good wife too. Thank to him, Kardec, we are here learning and studying Spiritism. Yes, so you said everything. As I also explained last week, when the spirits have these important missions, when a spirit is sent for a very important, very difficult mission, the spirits, they believe on our power, not really believing. So they always send a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, because if plan A fails, then will be plan B, plan C, plan D. And let me know if any of you can write down quickly who was plan B. Come on. Oh, I actually have this idea that I'm going to start doing some quests, that's very exciting. So I will tell you guys a bunch of things, and then I will ask you a few questions, and I will see who is going to get the answers right. So nobody's writing. That's amazing. Nobody knows who is the plan B of the enlightened spirits in case Kardec did not accomplish his mission. Nobody knows. Oh, Teresa, thank God. Thank God someone knows. Yay! Woo! The Oscar goes to Teresa! Yay! Very good. Awesome. Wasn't plan A the Fox sisters? No, my dear. No, Matthew. The Fox sisters was just a way of start the mediumship. They didn't have this plan of actually spreading the knowledge of spiritism because they couldn't. They were just little kids. Remember, they were. I believe was 9 and 12 years old. Their mission was really to turn the sparkle, make people interested in seeing the little kids talking to the spirits. That was their mission. And even that was already very difficult and very painful for them. But Kardec's mission was much higher and much more difficult, but he was a very capable spirit. But as Teresa said, if Kardec failed for whatever reason, then Leon Denis would be the other one, younger than Kardec, not much younger, but younger than Kardec, and he was going to be the one that was going to actually take from there and go. So we don't need to worry that Spiritism wouldn't be here, because it would, because it had to come. When a truth has to be revealed, it will be revealed. If I am the one who has to reveal and I fail for whatever reason, there will be somewhere else, in some other country sometimes, and that person will bring it to us. That's good. Okay, so my goodness, I talk too much. But guys, pay attention. I really like this idea of having quizzes, I love to have quizzes. So I think starting next week, we could start doing some quizzes. There is actually an app that I can send you guys a link. I think I can put the link here. You click, and then you have to be looking at me, for example, from a computer. And then you go on your cell phone and you answer through the app. And I will get the answers through the app. And then we can give the answers. That's exciting. Okay, let's go. The gospel. Let's bring our guests. So look at these beautiful people that are here with me. So you guys don't know them. Let me put them this way here. So we have here Claudia Garcez, my dear friend from Miami. Claudia, quickly, how did we meet?
We met in
Caravan of Love.
Exactly.
I don't remember which event.
Yeah, but you went. I believe you went the first time to meet us at Caravana, and our river, I think, invited you to go.
Oh yes,
and then that's where we meet.
Yes.
But I met you before on I believe we were selling books on a conference.
Yes,
FIU.
Yes.
We worked together.
Oh my gosh! Yes, great memory.
Yes, we were together.
I think it was like 2 years ago. The Spiritist, huge Spiritist event that happens in Florida.
Yes,
that's awesome. Very good. So,
and
guys,
then we met again at Caravana.
If you don't know, Google Caravan of Love, Caravana do Amor. They do a beautiful work visiting the nursing homes. I go with them whenever I can, because the Spiritist Center that I actually work is at the same time on Sunday. So only when I can go to the Spiritist Center, then I can go with them. And this is Marcio.
Angela,
Was already here before with us.
I have a
Yes,
problem here. Hold on, please.
you have a problem. Are you kidding? Really?
I can't see.
Today,
I
guys, you have
pressed
like
something
today
here.
was a day full of problems.
Can you guys see me?
Yes, we can see you. We can hear you. We
Okay,
have
I
no
can't see
problem.
anybody. I just see. I got a blank. Some. Hold on,
Don't
just.
worry. We can see you. That's the important thing. You are being recorded. That's the important
Oh,
thing. So
all right.
smile. You are being filmed. So, guys, we
Mm,
have to go because if we don't start, we are not actually going to do much. And we are going to study the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 10. We are going to talk today about indulgence. So, last week, we were talking about forgiveness. And today we are going to talk about indulgence. So if you have the book, we'll be talking about through the 16 to the 18. So I will read just a little bit and then we can actually have a conversation. So the item number 16, it is from the spirit Joseph from Bordeaux, 1863. So he starts like this. Spiritists, today we would like to speak to you about indulgence, that sentiment so sweet, so fraternal, that all people should have for their brothers and sisters, but which few put to good use. And then a little bit more. Indulgence does not see the defects of others, or it does, it avoids talking about them or publicizing them. If malevolence uncovers them, indulgence always has an excuse to mitigate them. So, indulgence basically is the contrary of gossip. Okay, let's go. What do you guys have to tell me? What
Uh,
can we talk about? Indulgence.
I believe, Angela, that imperfect, right? All of
Yeah.
us, we are evolving, and but we're still a little bit behind. But as we are imperfect, we cannot ask people to be perfect either, because we are not. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to be tolerant. We have to be indulgent towards the imperfection of others,
Mm-hmm.
because we like, sometimes you were talking about a person, before, you were talking about a person being a gossiper, and maybe she doesn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we point to that person, or if we start gossiping about this person, maybe you can do a lot harm than only the gossip that she's spreading.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
And so we have to be careful, because we're not saints. And
Mm-hmm.
who are we to be judging people?
Yes.
And so I think we have to exercise each and every day, because I know that since we are not perfect, we cannot be uh, saints, right? We cannot be
Yes.
right. We That's something that we do. It's something that we judge people. We judge ourselves,
Yes.
and so sometimes we have to be indulgent to ourselves too.
Yes. Yes. And the thing
And
is, like, whenever we condemn someone else, whenever we are accusing someone else, for example, the gossiper, we
Mhm.
accusing the gossiper doing gossip.
Right.
So we are doing the same thing in a different way. We find a way to justify our gossip because the other person was doing it. So how can we fight How can we combat the situation of the gossip? Because we already identified gossip is not good. What can we do to avoid this from spreading?
Sometimes to be quiet,
Mm-hmm.
pray, ask the spirits, the good spirits, to help you.
Yes.
And do good things.
Yes.
And be benevolent to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can, start by doing that.
Yes.
It's an exercise.
Exactly. And the first thing we have to start really is telling the gossiper, saying, I really don't like to talk about it.
Let's change
Can we
subjects.
change the subject?
Uh-huh.
Or if the person is not going to change, or you can change it. I forgot that I had to go there. And you remove yourself from the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we start feeding, oh, really? Oh, then we start like putting more wood in the fire. Marcio, what do you think?
Well, we all know that life is not very easy, right?
Yeah.
And people, they have all kinds of defects, I guess. We are here learning and trying to be better, even though if you don't think this way, but we still are doing something that's gonna affect your karma, affect your life here and in the future.
Yes.
And indulgence is something that we would think that would be something more natural within us. And my reality is we always have that materialism. And we are, in a way, very sadly vulgar. We go so much after the materialism thing and the immediatism of possessions and the ego that we always us, me. And I think the best thing, if you have already conscious that we know that that's the path to go, the spiritism or other religion that will bring you to that level uh, uh, of
Improvement.
improvement.
Your
That
spiritual improvement.
exactly. So once you have this, you're already a little bit ahead of, and more
Yes.
you have to give, and more you'll be asked, because
Yes.
more you have more means to do that.
Yeah, what
And,
happened is that we all expect others to be indulgent towards us. So whenever we commit some kind of mistake or some kind of issue, we are always expecting the others to behave in a good way. But whenever we do something wrong against somebody else, we feel like we can be like this, and we justify things. But as you both mentioned, we are not perfect, because if we were perfect, indulgence would be part of our soul.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as somebody attacked us, we would have no negativity towards that person. We would immediately would feel sorry for the person. We would like, oh, poor thing, today is not a good day. But us, I can't believe it.
I think
And maybe we can control ourselves and not attack. That's already improvement. But then we still have to work so much in what we're going to be thinking and what we can be spreading to. Yes. What else?
well, I think you. I mean, if you're going to be asked, you'll be judged somehow by life, by God, by spirits, that If you'll be judged as the way you judge. If you judge, if you are severe,
Mm-hmm.
if you are,
Yes.
be sure that you're gonna find through your life here and elsewhere, and the next wherever we go
Mm-hmm.
after that, you'll be there and you'll be judged as the same. But I think
Yes.
here we can see it. One depend on the way we live life. I think we also find people to come to find those people that also charge you and come after you. You know, it's a very funny thing how cause and effects
Yes.
really
You,
real.
you're going to receive whatever you give, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So if you start judging, you're going to be judged.
Yes.
And nobody likes that, right? So
Yes.
I believe that's when we have to be conscious of that, so that we start exercising not doing those things,
Yes. Yes.
and and try to be in a different level of thinking. And like Angela said just now, if you start talking to someone and someone wants to gossip about somebody else, you just try to get away from it. Do not stay in the same level of thinking. You have to
Yes.
go and do better.
Yes. Yes. And if you can't avoid, you will have to exercise keeping that within you, not
Mhm.
really spreading it to anywhere. And nowadays, for example, with social media, this is like a disaster because this is a gossip in a giganormous scale. Because, it's already proven that whatever we put in one WhatsApp, it goes to 1,000 people in few seconds. And the same thing with Facebook, and and a lot of times whatever is put on the Facebook or Instagram, they are lies. They are lies, and people, they are lies so well done, well presented. They say,
That you
oh, the
think,
doctor from London, and everybody, oh, from London, and they believe, and like from London must be really good and important.
oh,
And then it spreads something that is a total lie, and sometimes even something beautiful. Lots of times they love to send things like a Charles Chaplin beautiful story, and it's just a lie, and we are spreading. So that's another thing we have to really be careful. And I am one of these people that I spread something, thank God was nothing horrible, was a beautiful story, and it was a lie. It was a lie. It never happened. And then I was like, thank God it was a beautiful story. It was about
yeah,
the three tenors and one helped the other, but no, it never happened. So we have to do our due diligence. We have to do our research in order to check that thing, in order to send this to somebody else. We have to be careful. So let's just go back to the book here. What else can we say here? There is a beautiful sentence that says, indulgence is never concerned with the wrongs of others unless it can be of assistance. That's amazing. This is like if somebody's come and is gossiping about somebody. Let's imagine a person B. Oh, a person B talking a person C. Oh, the person C, I can't believe it, is unemployed, is this and that. And then you hear that. But instead of talking bad, you like, that person needs help. So
mhm.
maybe the situation was actually bad, but then you see, that person needs help. Maybe I can guide with something. Maybe I can be of assistance. So this is indulgence. It's
because
really to help.
because sometimes the other person doesn't even know that she's doing bad. I
Mm-hmm,
mean, or
yes.
that she's doing so bad, and then that
Yeah.
you can help, the person start going in the right direction,
Yes.
and help
Yes.
instead.
Yes, exactly. It's almost like we can plant this sparkle and wake up the person from whatever situation. Sometimes We can even guide with something, because Spiritism gives us so many tools, not necessary to bring the person to a Spiritist center, but we learn that the gospel is such a book that gives us so many tools to face very difficult situations and still be able to give a little bit of light, to be able to boost the energy of the person a little bit. Guys, all of you that are watching us, write anything. What do you think about indulgence? Are you actually using indulgence every day in your lives, or is that difficult? Tell me, participate. What else,
You
guys?
know,
Let's go.
another thing that you don't have to be severe, even if a bad thing and you don't have to be so direct to the person to unveil something. You can go like with softer words, or just to talk about it, to call the
Yeah.
attention. And this is also
Yes.
part of indulgence, the way you approach the circumstance. And another thing that I've been learning is to put yourself in the person's place. And all the time I try to do it.
Yeah.
And I also think count from 1 to 10. You know, when if
Yes.
something,
Drink
sometimes
some
it becomes
water.
hard. So I really had to make a couple of days ago. First, I count 1 to 10, and then 1 to 20. I did, because I got such a stronger. I have that impulse very, and I say no, because what I would be very, very, it would be very like bad, the way I would do the thing, and I was able, because I count from 1 to 10, then the 1 to 20. I was able to know I'm gonna go to get some water. I was on the computer. I'm going to get some water, and then I didn't come back, and I was able to just leave
Yes.
it. And I slept overnight to the thing, to the situation. Uh, Usually I'm not that strong, I'm more like, ah. And so I thought it was very nice, because next day I was able to respond a totally different way.
Yes.
I loved my niece, I loved her, and I was about to break something, do something, it was crazy. But more and more, even when something very that goes to your ego, and but I'm getting older, I believe that, and also
Yeah,
that
no, I always say age helps to calm down.
it does, it
And
does.
this
It's
thing that
true.
you are mentioning, Marcio, happens to me a lot in writing, because it's very difficult for me to be on the phone. I don't really like, but I write all the time. I'm a maniac of WhatsApp. And many times I'm writing this gigantic message, and suddenly, boom, what happened? The telephone freezes, or I lose the internet connection, or whatever, the message deletes. And nowadays I understand it's because it was not to be
To
sent.
be.
But
Mhm.
of course, many times it doesn't happen. We have to learn how to control ourselves, because this
Yeah,
is what was like a blessing from the spirits helping us. So whenever this happens to me nowadays, I analyze what I was doing wrong to lose that, and then I rewrite the mess in a total different tone, because this is what happens. Two people can talk about the same thing, and even the tone of voice, the words are said. One person can really be very aggressive, and the other can be very passive, and they are saying about the same thing. So
Mhm.
whenever we are more positive, more soft, more sweet, we achieve much more than when we are like,
It's
because
true.
we are building up a cement wall. So we have to be careful with this. Let me read what Saul said. We need to be indulgent toward the wrong of others, as we like others to be indulgent with our wrongs too. It's not easy. Yes, we are not perfect. We need to exercise. Spiritism helps us correct, for
Yeah.
sure.
We also
So
need to
difficult.
exercise with our thoughts, because sometimes we think
Um,
a lot. We don't say it, but sometimes we judge, and
yes,
we have to start doing this exercise.
exactly. And Teresa mentioned the water of peace that you mentioned, Claudia.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. We have to exercise it all the time because we are not the perfect. So we are always ups and downs, ups and downs. There are days we are a little bit better, but there are days we are just a disaster. Just like, oh gosh.
But we cannot give up.
Exactly. We cannot give up. And we all have different imperfections. So sometimes I'm mastering something and you are not, but we complete each other because we can help each other. Like you going through a huge struggle, and that's super piece of cake for me. So I'm like,
Mhm.
Claudia, come on, nah. And you're like, girl, it's stressful. And then,
Yeah.
like here, video camera, yeah. A lot of people are extremely afraid of a camera, of a microphone, of a public speaking. I love it. So I have to control myself. And of course, we all have differences, so we can all help each other. And that's it. That's how we continue. Let's go. Let's go. We have few minutes. We still have few minutes. Let me see another beautiful part here because we have actually three messages. I'm just jumping to the second message from the Spirit Jean, from the Bishop of Bordeaux. So he says beautiful things, and he said, understand the infinite mercy of Father, of your Father, and never forget to say to him through your thoughts and especially through your actions, forgive our offenses as we forgive those who have offended us. So we spoke about it. We mentioned that we wanna be forgiven, so we have to forgive. We have to forgive. So he also says, are you asking him only to forget your offenses? So this is one thing also, like people that misunderstand the prayers, for example. Many times they pray to God to, oh, please God, I'm sorry for what I did, help me to forget about that. But what is wrong with this? What is wrong about, we did some mistake and we are praying to God to help us to forget about the situation, move on? Is that the correct way that we should behave? What is wrong there? Haha, I'm asking you guys. What
Well,
is wrong is that we should never ask God to help us to forget a mistake we did. If we did a mistake, we have to learn with it. So we have actually to ask God to help us to learn with that. So we are not going to repeat that. That's why many times we go through situations again, and then, like, sometimes, like 10 years later, like, I can't believe this is happening again because we didn't learn certain lessons. So we have to go again. And of course, we don't want this, but then brings us, life brings us into a situation that we end up, oh, we are there again. So tough. Life is tough, but like the John says, bear all your crosses and thoughtfully but courageously mount your Calvary. On each stop is glorification. Whew, that's tough.
You
That's
see, Angela, I found on the third message, on the I believe on 18, I
yeah.
found a sentence here that I found really interesting, that
Mhm.
says the true character of charity is always modesty and humility, which consists is not seeing the superficial defects of others, but rather in striving to cause their goodness and virtues to predominate. We are used to looking at the others, just the bad side of them.
Yeah.
And isn't it better to look at the good side of
Yeah.
everyone?
Yes.
Because we all have bad habits. We all have imperfections. Why not, spread the good things that we and the others have? That would help, things get better.
That's totally true. We have this tendency, especially when we are angry. But this is a technique that I do for myself when I am angry at someone for whatever reason. I really stop and I see the good qualities of that person, because we all have good qualities. We all have.
True.
Thank God. So even the worst person ever, they have good qualities. Maybe only to certain people, maybe only to their family or to their kids, but they have good qualities. And when we see, as you mentioned, we see the positive on the other person, we kind of calm down. We kind of like, maybe he was not going through a good day, was having a problem, and that's why he said that or he acted like that. And this is beneficial for us before anything. Is beneficial for us.
And the other side of this is that we assume that we are better than the person that did the wrong or did something, that we were out of that possibility.
Yeah.
Reality, don't know it. Maybe we would get a circumstance that you would be even worse in that sense. And so I think we tend to, I think the more positive way you look at life, I think makes it easier to see the good in things, that beauty even where it's not that beautiful. And I think it's a way also to see life, the world, and the more I believe we instruct ourselves spiritually, it becomes natural, I guess, to
it is true.
defend even if the person, no, he was just, whatever, try to not to cover the wrong, but to understand and then try to call attention in that softer way instead of being judging or go there and fight like
we are all evolving little by little. So the day we learn how to respect each other, so many things will be resolved. We don't need to think the same. We don't need it. But just respecting the person. Okay, you think like that, it's fine. I don't think like that, but I respect. But when we try to impose, that's the problem. So Matthew is commenting, it's nice they had used the plan B and plan A was successful. Yes, Matthew, was even better because Leon Denis was an amazing spiritist. He wrote absolutely fantastic books. Many of the books are translated now into English, so you can actually read about them. So guys, everything that's wonderful, finish quickly. So it's 10:04, we have to close. Claudia, could you do our final prayer?
Sure, yes.
Wonderful. Please.
All right. So let's calm down. And Master Jesus, thanks for everything, especially for this opportunity to be here tonight. We ask you to guide us and to don't give up on us, because we're trying our best, and we're gonna get there, but we need your help. But what I want to say tonight is that we're very blessed to be here with our brothers and sisters, and this was a wonderful time that we spent together. But we ask you to spread this love and this feeling to everyone around us and the ones that could not be here tonight. And please stay with us forever and ever. So be it.
So be it. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, my friends. It was great. I enjoy, even after all the problems, it was a blessing. Thank you so much
Thanks.
for being with us. So you guys have to come back again and again and again. You have to be like local in our study. Guys, thank you so much. All of you
Thank you.
that were able to be with us, to watch, thank you. And I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you,
Thank
Marcio.
Bye,
you,
Angie.
everybody.
Bye,
Love
Bye,
you
Marcio.
guys,
everyone.
everybody.
Have a great
Bye.
Thank
time.
you.
You too. Thanks.